Hey, how's everybody doing? About time that I review what I'm affectionately referring to as my precious. And what you're seeing here, this is my Sabertrio, well, the latest offering that I received from Sabertrio. And the situation was, Sabertrio, they offered a select quantity of ready to ship sabers as a Black Friday kind of sale. So they announced, it's the sale's going to go into effect, blah 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 blah, at a certain time, and if you go to their Facebook page, they give you the link to the ready to ship saber section on their website because they don't usually have a ready to ship saber section. Some companies like Vader's Vault, if you go right to their site, LDM's the same way, and you can select the ready to ship material. But with Sabertrio, their website's not set up that way, so you had access to the link, and then you went to their page, and then they had a select number of stunt configuration, stunt. Feeling stunted right now, yeah. Stunt configured sabers such as this, and then they had FX sabers, and then they had Neo sabers. I was kind of late to the party. I kind of misinterpreted, when things went live, and I kind of messed up. But someone sort of pointed that out to me, and by the time I got to the sale, a lot of what was available was gone. I had not really intended on buying anything too expensive. I was perfectly happy with getting a stunt saber, so I figured I would get either a Mira, which sold to our good friend at Rebel Chumps, and he did a bit of a reveal on his, and it's really beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. Or I could get an Arclyte because I've been wanting to get another Arclyte. So what they had actually was this what you see here before you, and it's kind of a little bit of a fusion of an Arclyte and a Mira. And I fell in love with it, and it was one of the few sabers that was still available. And it's probably would have, other than the Mira, I probably would have bought both the Mira and this one. Let me just put it that way. But this one was available, so I bought it. And it was a little bit delayed in shipping, so I inquired with Sabertrio. I was like, why has everyone else received theirs and I have not received mine? And they got back to me, and they apologized profusely. And they said that there was an issue with the saber that kind of kept it from going through QC. And so we'll get to that in just a minute. So the first thing I noticed when I received this saber was this beautiful custom blade plug, which is really, really quite lovely. It doesn't let too much of the LED light through. Unfortunately, I don't have an Allen key with me. It would be a little bit complex to insert this and display it, but I will at some point in the future because I'm planning on doing some comparison videos with this thing to my other Arclyte, and I want to show off the blade color and compare it to other brands that have the similar color. So it has this little tiny pinhole here. These little tiny pinholes. Focus, 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 focus. All right, that's about as good as it's gonna get. But you can kind of see the red of the tablecloth kind of shine through, and then it just kind of shines through the edges because the it's kind of cool because the silver part is kind of, if you can see it, the polycarbonate tubing is a little bit wider than the silver part, so you get this little sliver of light that kind of shines through. But anyway, so really, really neat, and it's a nice touch. And I just want to say, basically, starting off, that they didn't skimp on anything with this saber. I mean, from one end to the other, including the blade, the LED. I mean, everything is just top notch. This is better than I could possibly have expected, and I absolutely love this saber. This is worth every penny. Anyway, so as you can see, one of the neat little affectations of this is this wonderful little tassel, which is kind of a nerve-wracking thing because I just expect this thing to sort of either take cat damage or I don't know. I'm very protective of this tassel. As you can see, the focusing is kind of an issue. It's a little bit of detail on this thing. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. My visual acuity isn't that great, but it's really quite lovely. I like that a lot. Sorry, guys. Fighting a bit of a cold. It's that time of year. You know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, so I imagine that the tassel's all rather similar for sabers that do have tassels. That I mean, they had quite a few of the RTS sabers had those tassels. So I don't know if that's unique in the design, but it could be. So the chain kind of connects to this little thingamabonger in here, and as you can see, the this part right here was initially supposed to be black. See, what Sabertrio had told me was that there was an issue with the pommel, so I had to assume that this whole thing had an issue. They said it was dented or scratched or something, and they told me that they were going to replace it with a silver one, and I thought they were going to replace the whole thing with the silver one. So I told them, if it looks good, I'll accept it. And they offered, if I felt that I wasn't quite satisfied, they would send me an all black version later. They were having some issues with their anodization department, so they said, which was preventing the new part from being manufactured, so that they could get my saber out in the timely manner. So they apologized profusely and offered to send me one. But then I received this, and I saw, well, the actual pommel itself that screws on here was indeed black, and they just attached a silver bit here, and I just thought that looked so much better than the original the original aesthetic design of the thing. So I consider that a win. That's a win. So I'm very happy with that. Anyway, so this is the Mira pommel, and it's vented, but this of course is stunt saber, so no sound, which is fine. I actually sometimes like a good stunt saber more than a sound saber. It's just it's less burdensome. I don't know. There's more. It's almost like the saber has to work harder when it's a sound saber to to get your approval. I don't know. With a stunt saber, it's just like it turns on, it illuminates, and if it does that well, it's good, and you can do it with it. It's much more forgiving, less to break. So I kind of like that. So this particular saber actually has, and again, I'm not gonna, because it's time consuming and you know what it all looks like, but this has a lithium ion battery in it. It's got an 18650 with the standard chassis that you would find on all their sabers that have lithium ion batteries. So that is really cool, and that really extends the life of the battery life of the saber, rather than competing with 4 AAA batteries. You have a lithium ion, it's going to last that much longer. And I find that this saber is ridiculously bright. This is actually I think this is the brightest saber I own right now, and you'll see eventually why. Okay, so anodized bit, little anodized groove, anodized bit, and this is I'm assuming their high polish finish, and that's kind of a fingerprint magnet, but it's not too bad. Carpetech wheel also has the same finish with some black design elements or aesthetic attributes. This is one of the things that really shines on this saber. Well, it doesn't shine as much. It's actually not that shiny, but you know what I mean. Is the knurling on this thing. It's different than my standard Arclyte. It's it just feels different. It has a different texture. Who was it? I saw someone that was. They were talking about the finish. Oh, it's Sidious. He was talking about the finish on one of his Fallen Order sabers. I think it was the It was either the Ultra Sabers or the Saberforge variant. Had kind of a sandy feel, and that's what this feels like. Listen to that. This is so nice. It has such a good tactile. I don't want to. it's it's really nice, and the finish that they put on it, I don't even know. I can't even describe it. It's almost like they anodized it and then they sanded it down. That's the only way I can describe it. It's amazing. Yeah, they did a really good job. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So we get to the trigger section, anodized bit, all these little grooves, your standard. I mean, everyone's familiar. I mean, I did a review of the Arclyte, my other Arclyte, and you know that this is probably one of the most comfortable sabers you can have in your hand, period, bar none. Um, so again, high polished finish all the way down here with the standard anodized bits in there. This one came with this gold switch here. What do you call it? It's not an AV switch. Yeah, it's pretty much a standard AV switch. And you got your LED retention screw, your blade retention screw, and that's pretty much what you got here. So it's a really amazing package overall. It's very simple but aesthetically pleasing. Okay, now I usually don't talk too much about the blades. I usually, when I get a Sabertrio or anything from overseas, I skip getting the blade. But this one, the blade came standard. And it seems to be kind of a mid-grade thin-walled blade. But the thing is, the film that they put in here is so thorough and complete. And then what they did was they sanded the blade. So it has this, it's so smooth, but you can feel that they sanded it. And it just creates this solid, milky white texture that's so consistent. And that carries all the way to the blade tip. You can't even feel the seam. I mean, you can feel it a little bit, and it's obviously there, but they put so much work into this blade that from now on, I'm just gonna pay the extra shipping and get the damn blade. My plan is to get a mirror at some point. I may go full on CFX Neo, or not CFX, but Neo, or yeah, it is CFX, yeah. But then they have so many other hilts. I've got to wait on that. I've been spending way too much money. You've heard that line from me before. So this has a tri-crease setup that creates kind of an amber, illumination, and I'm going to show that to you now because let me see what's the best angle. I really want this to be. Yeah, all right. Here we go. Now, I can't even begin to tell you how bright and consistent this is. I can't even get the color to come out true. Not with this lighting situation, not with this camera, but this is, in all sense of the word, a pure, perfect amber. And this blade is so damn bright. If this room was pitch black and I turned this on, it would no longer be pitch black. It would be fully illuminated. This thing's blinding. And that really took me by surprise, how bright this is. It's spectacular. So that's number 2 for me. I don't think I'm going to get, even if I get a stunt saber, it's going to have the lithium ion battery, because I have to attribute this I mean, I just have to attribute this brightness in part to the fact that it's not running off of just regular batteries. Oh, now you can kind of see the color. It is just glorious. It's beautiful. It's so I'm gonna do a comparison to one of my Saberforge Ecos that also has the amber blade, which is still that's beautiful too, but nowhere near as bright or as spectacular as this. So, of course, this doesn't have any sound, but as you know, the Arclyte handles from your main gripping point is here, and the interesting thing is because of the pommel and the weight of this is actually lighter than my regular Arclyte with them, with the 4 AAA battery setup. Because of the pommel, it's a little front heavy, so I find that this saber makes more of a Shoto one-handed kind of saber rather than, it doesn't really work two-handed at all. But as far as being, a one-handed saber, it's spectacular. Now, the other thing I really enjoy is this came with a 32-inch blade standard, and I'm becoming more of a 32-inch blade guy. I'm usually a 36-inch, but I find, being that it's winter and the time of year, I have to kind of practice inside, and 32-inch blades obviously are a lot safer for not hitting the ceiling. So plus it's a much more comfortable weighted situation. I'm not really getting my spins right here, but anyway. So obviously there's no sound, so it's just kind of boring for you. But anyway, so here we go. In summation, boop. In summation, this saber is freaking awesome. This is so much fun. I'm so addicted to Sabertrio right now, and the work that they do in their customer service, they are so friendly. And I've been talking to them both on the Facebook page and via messaging, and they're responsive and they're considerate and they're friendly. They just offer. Even like the next best company, like Electrum Sabercrafts, they're amazing, but Sabertrio is just something else. I don't even know how they do it. They really care about what they're doing beyond the pale, and I'm absolutely, and because of that, eventually I'm gonna be in the poorhouse. I'm gonna own everything that they have to offer, and I really, really, really hope that at some point in the near future, that they offer a curved hilt design or maybe a cross guard or like a legit straight up like a staff, not just buying 2 of these and connecting them. I mean like an actual like saber staff kind of thing, or like a Darth Maul, just whatever they're conceiving in the future. I know it's going to be spectacular, and yeah. So I guess that's all I have to say about that. So I'm just going to go from one end to the other and just give you kind of like the unfettered visual tour. Let me get the blade plug. Put it back there. Okay. Love this finish. Like I said, it's kind of a fingerprint magnet, but it's not so bad. It feels so smooth in the hand, the weight of this thing. The knurling on the handle here. Just I'm hoping that Sabertrio will do some other RTS events that aren't just limited to the holidays. You know, like maybe like a 4th of July type of thing, or I don't know. Whatever they decide to do, I'm all in. The next RTS event, I'm all in. So we have a blade tip. Actually, like the blade tip on this thing. Yep. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. Sorry, guys. Like I said, getting a little bit sick here, and not in a good way. Well, I'm assuming that you've had quite enough. So, anyway, so yeah, that's my RTS Arclyte, aka my precious. No, that's not the name of the saber. It's just funny. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this bit of a review on this wonderful Sabertrio offering. I'm gonna go watch The Mandalorian, so I got that going for me. At any rate, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have an epic rest of the week. You take care of yourselves and have happy holidays. I love y'all. Okay, take care now. Bye.